Hey guys, it's Drummond. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you know when my next video is going to come out. But today's video is going to be talking about sharing too much information. So I feel like today we share so many things across everything that we've got. Social media, dating apps, wow, just too much stuff is being shared, and I kind of want to talk about the effects of sharing so much information. My sister and her friend were talking one night about how so many people are so good at the beginning and then they kind of start to show their true colors. And I wanted to kind of point out that a lot of us share so much information about ourselves and what we're looking for that we really just give people a script so that they can pretend to be who we want them to be, just so they can get in our pants or get a couple dates out of us, and then they start to show their true colors, meaning they've run out of script or they've just gotten tired of reading from a script and they're ready to show you who they really are. So sharing too much information, and that's funny to say because I feel like I share so much information on my YouTube channel and across other social medias, but I also try to find time to make sure that I've got a life outside of social media, and I feel like there's a lot of things that I don't share just because I feel like it's important to kind of still have a thing that is still mine and not belonging to the entire world. So I definitely do keep some things to myself. And I mean, just because I have social media out there doesn't mean that I've signed any type of contract saying that I have to share everything with you guys. And I think that's important. One thing that I've been kind of keeping a little bit more to myself is relationship status, just because I did share my relationship with you guys on social media, and it kind of sucked when the relationship ended and I also had to share the breakup with you guys. As nice as it is to kind of share that aspect of my life, I felt like there's some people that I've gone on dates with that don't really want their life out there, and I also don't really want everything about me out there for the world to see either. So I definitely think a lot of people need to realize that Facebook is not a journal. You don't want to share every personal thought because people might think you're crazy. Not that you shouldn't share happy moments and stuff like that on there, but you should realize that it is a public forum and anyone can see it. And just because you've got it set to private doesn't mean someone can't screenshot it and share it later. So be careful with what you share on the internet because people will find it and people will share it even if you don't want them to. Another reason that I don't like sharing everything out there for people is because I feel like some people will read into it and then they start to transform themselves into what they think that I want them to be, just because they really want to go on a date with me and they really want it to work out, or they want to be friends with me and they really want it to work out. And so they kind of put on this persona that they are this person that would be perfect for me, when in reality they just watched a lot of my YouTube videos, went through a lot of my Instagram pictures, and just formed their opinion of who they think that I'm looking for in a person. And I feel like that's not a great way to be, just because you're missing the opportunity to have someone like you for who you are instead of who you're pretending to be. Another way that we're sharing too much information is vacation stuff. A lot of us will share when we're leaving and when we're different places, leaving our house vulnerable to people who might be interested in breaking in. I live in the middle of nowhere, so for someone to break in, they're really going to have to travel pretty far to come find it. But I still try to make sure that I'm not posting stuff across my social media and being like, hey, my house is unlocked and you guys, it's a free-for-all, come take all my stuff. Not a good idea. I mean, even when social media first came out, that was something that people warned us about. Also, just posting stuff that I'm doing when I'm doing it, I've realized isn't such a great idea because people will show up. I mean, if it's an event that I want people to show up for, of course I'm gonna post on social media, hey, I'm doing this tonight. If you wanna meet me, come see me here. But there are times when I'm going out with family or going out with friends, and I really just wanna spend time with my family and friends. So when it comes to posting stuff about what I'm doing or where I'm going, like hikes and all of that stuff, or movie theaters or restaurants, I wait until after I leave to post that information, just because I don't like being interrupted in the middle of something with family or friends or a date. Just because I feel like that takes away from the moment that I was trying to create with the people that I was planning on going there with. Another thing that you have to realize about sharing information on the internet is once it's out there, it's never going away. And by that, I mean, even if you delete it, that doesn't mean that someone else didn't take a screenshot, like I said before, and have it for their personal record. I know that I've had friends that kind of went through breakups and shared information, and they're just posting stuff all over the internet of like text messages that person sent or pictures. And I'm just like, don't do it. It's not a good idea. Like I said in my last video where I was talking about sending nude pictures, you have to be careful with what you share across the internet, because once it's out there forever, I promise. Whether you think so or not, it's out there. Another thing that we post a lot about is personal opinions. That's something that at the moment it seems really good. You feel like you're standing up for something, but there's also times where that can be used against you. I had a friend that thought it was pretty cool to post like jokes and stuff about like LGBT stuff, and he thought it was funny at the time. And then he actually ended up trying to apply for a job where they saw that stuff all over his social media, and he actually lost his opportunity of getting that job because they didn't think it was very funny. So I mean, when it comes to certain jobs, they take things like that seriously. I mean, I was just in a job interview where they were talking about how now Facebook and all of that stuff starts to come into play when it comes into job interviews. They look you up on social media before you even come into the interview to kind of get a feel of who you are. And when it comes to social media, a lot of us don't realize what we're portraying ourselves as. And so when it comes to that, I am very careful about the brands that I create for myself. It's one thing that I've been a little bit worried about lately because I've been posting videos about the LGBT community and things that are revolving around sex, which makes me a little bit awkward, but I am trying to do it in a positive light that brings attention to a subject that I feel like has been treated as something taboo in the United States and other parts of the world, that I feel like if we don't put some light onto this topic, that we're not going to solve any of the problems like STIs and the spread of HIV and all of that stuff. I definitely take into consideration what I put out there and what I don't put out there, because I do realize that whatever I put out there is going to stick to who I am, and that will be something that people judge me on. So I'm a little bit more careful, and I feel like if Donald Trump was a little bit more careful with some of the things that he said, he wouldn't make himself look as stupid as he has in the past, and I'm sure he's going to continue to do in the future. If you guys enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure if you have any comments to leave them down below. I try to respond to everything that I get down there. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.